market.
Congratulations to the media. You have done incredible work.
In NS, it will shock you what it does.
The Senate observed that PPP has consistently engaged in underhanding.
Position, you don't
when your brother is producing something and you patronizing your brother.
Listen to Planet's 101.1 FM news at 7 a.m., 12 noon, and 6 p.m. with our news in special English at 2:30 p.m. Mondays to Fridays. Planet Radio 101.1 FM, revolving around you.
It's the news at noon. In the news, Nigeria Immigration Service to open more passport services point in U.K. and U.S.A. NAF helicopter crashes in Port Harcourt, River State capital. Stakeholders call for inclusion of communities to eradicate AIDS as World AIDS Day is marked today. On a foreign scene, fighting reportedly resumed in Gaza after expiry of week-long Israel and Hamas truce. And sport, Brighton West Ham seals Port in Europa League knockout round. The details coming up shortly. Good afternoon and welcome to the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM Uyo. I am Rachel David White. Our first report this afternoon is that a helicopter owned by the Nigerian Air Force has crashed in Port Harcourt, the River State capital. Edward Gakwood, NAF spokesperson, confirmed the development in a statement. He said a helicopter with a number NAF MI35P crashed at exactly 7:45 a.m. shortly after it took off for an operation against economic saboteurs in River State. He further stated that everyone on board survived and sustained minor injuries, adding that they are being attended to at NAF Medical Center, Port Harcourt. Reports said the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, is currently on his way to Port Harcourt to assess the situation and give further directives. Away from that, the Vice President, Kashim Shettima, has said that private sector is an important part of the foundation that holds the Nigerian government together. He reiterated President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's commitment to cultivating an environment conducive to enterprise and innovation. He said it explains why the president's vision for Nigeria is based on 8 priority areas, including poverty eradication, economic growth, job creation, and equitable access to capital. The Vice President, who spoke at the inauguration of projects in Anambra State, praised Anambra State for its private sector-driven development, while promising the Nigerian government's assistance in tackling the state environmental concerns. He also lauded Governor Charles Soludo for appreciating the value of the strong business sector. In a separate development, the Controller General, Nigerian Immigration Service NIS, Caroline Adepoju, has said the service would open more passport services point to meet the needs of Nigerians in diaspora. Adepoju said in an interview in Abuja that efforts were on to ease passport processing in the country, stressing that all hands are on deck to ensure that they create more service points in the U.K., Canada, and U.S.A. According to her, the service has opened 3 additional passport processing centers in Nigeria located at Ikorodu, Ofia, and Ile-Oloju to ease demands on passport centers in Lagos, Kwara, and Ondo states. On labour matters, the federal government has said that a new minimum wage administration would come into effect on April 1st, 2024. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Idris Mohammed, who discloses in an interview in Abuja, said the current 30,000 naira minimum wage would expire at the end of March 2024. Recall that following the removal of fuel subsidy, the President Bola Tinubu on May 29, 2023, the federal government had agreed to pay 35,000 naira each of the workers would benefit to cushion the effect of the subsidy removal. But the organized labor insisted that the 35,000 naira wage award was a temporary measure, adding that the minimum wage should be reviewed in 2024. To the red chambers now, the Senate Committee on Gas Resources has begun investigating the disbursement of about 135 billion naira from the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, to some companies in the oil and gas sector. Earlier, the committee chairman, Senator Jarigbe, had invited 15 companies to appear before the committee to account for the disbursement, which they were unwilling to repay. At the investigative hearing, representatives of the Ministry of Petroleum, Oluremi Komolafe, said though the intervention was the initiative of the ministry, they were not aware of the disbursement by the Central Bank of Nigeria. The CBN, which was represented by the Acting Director of Project Finance, Sahid, exonerated the bank of any blame and said they only provided guidelines for the disbursement of the intervention loan to the beneficiary companies. According to him, the disbursement was done by commercial banks. Meanwhile, the chairman of the committee therefore threatened to alert the anti-graft agencies to recover the money from defaulting beneficiaries. Back here, Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Omoino has directed the immediate release of an additional 1.5 billion naira for repayment of outstanding gratuities of retired workers in the state. The Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Ekerete Odo, who announces, said it was a further confirmation of the Governor's resolve to fulfill his pact with workers in the state. Recall that during the campaign, Pastor Oino had promised to continue paying backlogs of gratuities from where his immediate predecessor in office had stopped. Reports say before the current release, 5.3 billion naira had been released by the Governor for retired workers in the state, an attestation to the Governor's humane disposition to the people of the state. Adding that few weeks ago, an additional 1 month's salary, otherwise called 13th month salary, was approved for civil servants in the state to bring Christmas cheers. And how vast the world marks the 2023 AIDS Day today with the theme, Let Communities Lead. Stakeholders in Akwa Ibom have called for the inclusion of communities in order to eradicate AIDS in the state before 2030. Speaking with Planet News, the State Secretary, Association of Youth Living with HIV and AIDS, Akwa Ibom chapter in Ndifreke Anthony, said every December 1st is the day to educate people about HIV and AIDS and how to prevent the virus. He also encouraged people living with the virus to visit any nearby primary health center for free treatment provided by the government to help them fight the virus and continue living their lives.
It's day. I do every 1st December. It's your sang. I sing kwamba usene udong itiai na me wedi on ni fio. Eba udong itiai na keme dik beme awu di udong ami. Awu keme adik beme di udong ami by into be them months every 3 months. That is a film itiai ma boyo. Focus see them fo. Me for many udong ami. Then ibong mo pass for women came phone government nam ke health center wakadok health center do bum bigi say mo ide me wakadok health center da audiana ke fin or bereken kan kong dok health center do see them for mu see them for ma eya no fini tem na for bu do wem.
Also speaking, Judy Majo highlighted the important role of communities and their leadership in the fight against HIV and AIDS. She also advocated that everyone should know their status, saying it is advisable to go for a test every 3 months.
Udongo HIV ibanga monsini ni monodo me forum komuniege monsini niege ana kinam test eyo no udoko finu put pe fina bobo usawana manam test every 3 months so that for yongo ndagam fo the monsi mai ni na fo many bon fo kini ana ante fo ne magatodo ati wo 2030 udongo di ibanga ba fo muniege do ana fo test idem fo I say every 3 months because even at that point I for test kill photo I say you don't make men this up kill for but for my zugotie maybe you don't many a one for one you can get kit you fight it keep me all blood or can new my one yes splash and make men in the sun and for test in order for you to know that okay for many safe.
She further noted the need to avoid sharing job options with people to avoid contacting the virus. Observed annually on December 1st, World AIDS Day gives HIV and AIDS advocates an opportunity to bring awareness to the global response, fights the harmful stigma and discrimination that hinder people living with HIV from seeking testing and treatment services, and urge government worldwide to ensure the resources and political will are available to fight HIV and AIDS. You're listening to Venice on Planet Radio 101.1 FM Uyo. Let's take a breather and I'll bring you more stories from our sport, foreign and entertainment scenes. Do stay with us.
Healthy living begins with the choices one makes. Choosing to live healthy is the first step to healthy living. Join us Sundays 1:30 to 2 p.m. for Healthway, awareness for healthy choices.
Welcome back and many thanks for staying with us. On our foreign scene, fighting has reportedly resumed in Gaza today, immediately after the expiry of a week-long truce between Israel and Hamas. Israel's military said fighter jets were currently striking Hamas targets in Gaza. Meanwhile, Marwan al-Hams, the director of Al-Najjar Hospital in Rafah in southern Gaza, where many Palestinians fled after being told by Israel to leave enough of the territory, said strikes killed at least 9 people in the city, including 4 children. And sports, Brighton booked their place in the Europa League knockout stage with a 1-0 win at AEK Athens, while West Ham also advanced after a late Thomas Sosek goal against Baka Topola. Roberto De Zerbi's side are competing in Europa for the first time in their history, and the Seagulls' adventure will continue into the new year thanks to João Pedro's winner in Greece. Reports say Europa League group winners go through the last 16 automatically, while the runners-up play in a 2-legged knockout round play off in February against a team who finished third in a Champions League group. On our entertainment news, Afrobeat sensation Davido has expressed solidarity with singer Rema's choice to step away from performing in December 2023 over health issues. The calm-down singer reportedly broke the heart of his fans when he cancelled his performances for the remainder of the year, citing the need for self-care. Hours after the move, Davido took to his social media platform to express solidarity with Rema. It's been the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM Uyo, but before we go, a recap of the major stories. The Controller General, Nigerian Immigration Service, Caroline Adepoju, has said the service would open more passport services points to meet the needs of Nigerians in the diaspora. A helicopter owned by the Nigerian Air Force has crashed in Port Harcourt, the River State capital. As the world marks AIDS Day today with the theme Let Communities Lead, stakeholders in Akwa Ibom have called for the inclusion of communities in order to eradicate AIDS in the state before 2030. On a foreign scene, we told you that fighting has reportedly resumed in Gaza today immediately after the expiry of a week-long truce between Israel and Hamas. And sports were reported that Brighton booked their place in the Europa League knockout stage with a 1-0 win at AEK Athens, while West Ham also advanced after a late Thomas Sosek goal against Bakhta Topola. For comment and coverage of a newsworthy event, call our newsroom on 0812-770-2940. Visit our website on planet101fm.ng and follow us on X at planet_101fm. Also like our Facebook page at planet101fm Uyo. The news was edited by Jane Owa. As we end the news, the dangers of abduction and kidnapping continue to remain our central message as we fervently pray and work towards the release of captured core members of Akwa Ibom extraction. I am Rachel David White. Good afternoon and Happy New Month.